All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, Rakah Kwadash. Second of all, I want to give the honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, Elder Tahar and on down to rule well. And third of all, I want to give a peace and safety to the hopeful elect out there, the brothers that push this truth, the truth of the King James Bible, and all truth and sincerity throughout the four corners of the globe. All right, so I just want to do a short lesson. I hop along the spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai allows it to go, and this is going to be an update on the death of the petrodollar. All right, and Lord Willis, brothers can see on the screen. I have this article here from the Zero Hedge. All right, and I'm pretty sure all the brothers out there have heard this good news, but it says Xi and Putin hail first brick expansion in over a decade as Gulf oil powers join. All right, it says at a moment, China and Russia have envisioned the future of BRICS as a fundamental and anti-Western bloc of developing nations. The Gulf oil powers, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates have been formally invited to become members, which mark the block of which marks the bloc's first expansion in over a decade. The membership would take effect for the first of January 2024. South African president, I'm not try to pronounce his name, said adding that additional Argentina, which that brings the nukes a little bit closer to home, because now they can stick the missiles down there in South America. All right, closer to Babylon, Egypt, Ethiopia, and Iran will be added to the fold next year. And let's jump down. All right, it says set up in 2009, the BRICS nations represented represented some 40% of the world population and significantly over a quarter of the world's GDP. And now with Saudi Arabia and the UAE, the United Arab Emirates, and Iran set to enter the fold next year, it will have three of the world's biggest oil producers. All right, and we all know through the spirit, and we all know what Saudi Arabia has said about hurting America. All right, and with the Biden administration and Ben Salami and the Arabs or whatever not being on the best terms right now. All right, and they're still pissed off about the Afghanistan deal and all of that. And now they've officially become members of BRICS, of the BRIC nations. All right, which right now is at odds with the NATO and the EU is at odds with the BRIC nations. All right, like they say in the world, you mess with one of them, you mess with them all. So now you got them joining them, the BRIC nations, and this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine. All right, and back and forth. You know, the BRICS and the NATO nations are at odds with each other. All right, so if America keeps on assisting, we just gotta wait and see how it plays out. Keep on assisting, or the West keep on assisting Russia or whatever. I mean, Ukraine with weapons and things like that. And now with Saudi Arabia officially getting ready to become an ally. All right, they could one way, and Ben Salami already said that they can hurt America in many ways. They'll do things to hurt America, and what better way to do that is to kill the petrodollar. All right, by selling their oil and other resources, mainly their oil, selling their oil for something other than the petrodollar, the U.S. dollar. All right, so now with them officially becoming members, now we got to see, and we got to sit back and watch and wait and see what's going to happen, because still got this Russia and Ukraine thing going, which the West again is NATO and the EU and the BRICS nations are at odds with each other. All right, over this whole Ukraine things, and now Saudi Arabia is joining. All right, and the other in top, like I said right here, read it again. And now with Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Iran set to enter the fold, it will have three of the world's biggest oil producers. All right, which the only thing keeping the U.S. dollar afloat, which all the brothers out there already know, is the petrodollar. All right, and also Saudi Arabia is also, which I'm pretty sure all the brothers are aware of that as well, have cut the production of oil by like $1 million, 1 million barrels a day, again, going into this month and towards the end of September. They're probably going to do it again too. All right, and that's going to ultimately drive the prices of oil up. Like the guy Mike, what's his name? What's his channel name? Like he was going into the other day, which I played, used his clip to do that video, which he was breaking it down how, with them cutting this oil supply that they're putting out is going to hurt the U.S. dollar. All right, Salakia hurt the going to cause the gas prices and diesel prices and things like that to go up. All right, with them cutting crude oil and all of that. All right, so this is big news. This is pretty big news. And through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, all praises to Yahweh Shem Yahushai, he allowed this to go down. All right, because this is big. This could kill the petrodollar, which will create hyperinflation and make the value of the dollar worthless. And then they can push that system out of the way and come on with the Karagma. All right, could be one way they do it. We got to just sit back and watch and wait. All right, but the gas price is about to go through the roof. And real quick, and pull something up. But don't hope that America is going to be able to supply the gas. All right, Babylon's going to be able to supply the gas. Hold on, let me pull this up real quick. All right, Salakia, brothers. I have a few article here that I'm gonna read over real quick. It says under Biden, U.S. oil production is poised to break Trump era record. It says Joe Biden is waging a war on oil industry that is hurting customers at the gas pump and yet on watch. Inside the White House failed efforts to disclose OPEC from cutting oil production. Right, because when Saudi Arabia first cut the oil production, but check this one out. It says Saudi Arabia says U.S. asked it to postpone oil cuts by a month. All right, so they're saying that they told them to cut the oil production, which is going to hurt the American citizen again because it's going to cause the prices of oil to jump through the roof. I mean, the cost of gas to jump through the roof. The higher oil is, the higher gas prices are going to be. All right. It says Biden vows consequences for Saudi Arabia after oil production cuts, and now they've joined the BRICS. There it is again. But there was another one I was looking for. There's another one. Biden vows to punish Saudi over its oil cuts. That's no longer the plan. I guess he pushed it out the window. But yeah, it was another one going in about how Biden was how they're not gonna refill. Hold on, Salaki. Let me stop it again, brothers. All right, Salaki, brothers. Here we go. It says Biden administration delays plans to restock national emergency oil reserves. Let's click on this one. Let's read a little bit of it. So don't depend on America to be able to supply Europe, the European nations with oil, and be able to supply Babylon with oil. All right, and again, this is all by design. Like the man said, he said that to cut the production down, to put the squeeze on the U.S. citizens. All right, it's going to drive the prices up. It's either going to can price the people out, being able to afford it, and eventually they'll run out because they're not restocking the reserves. It says Biden administration delays plan to restock nationals emergency oil reserves. And who knows how much oil is left. The Biden administration is delaying plans to restock the nation's oil reserves amid a price hike that has pushed oil above $80 a barrel. The emergency department canceled a planned purchase of 6 million barrels for the strategic Salaki reserve this week, saying it wants to secure a good deal of taxpayers. All right, the administration said it remains committed to refill the reserves, which President Joe Biden significantly drained last year by sending some of it to Europe. All right, to counteract what Putin was doing because they put sanctions on them and they wouldn't buy oil from them at all. The European nations weren't, and Biden sent a lot of that oil over there to them, which helped clean out, put a hole in Babylon's oil reserves. All right. Last year, in a bid to stop gasoline prices from raising above production cuts by OPEC, and ban on Russian oil imports, Slovakia, because of the war in Ukraine. So, yeah, man, this is gonna hurt the American, which is all by design. What they want to do, hurt your pocket. all right, hurt your pocket, and ultimately to get rid of the U.S. dollar, to get rid of all paper money altogether. And what better way for that to happen than the Saudis was just joined the BRICS to to uh um, to deal with other currencies or other things outside of the U.S. dollar for the oil, which will crash the U.S. dollar, which will destroy the U.S. dollar. All right, so Lord will, this was edifying. I was just reading over some articles, and yeah, man, this is going down, man. This is pretty big news. The oil reserves is hurt. Saudi Arabia has cut their barrels of output, their output by another million. Again, Russia has also cut their output. All right, Biden put the restocking of the oil on hold. So going into the winter months, going into these winter months, you're gonna see the prices of gas go through the roof. All right, jump through the roof. All right. So with that, I pray this lesson was edifying. I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rakakwadash, double honors to my elders and apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and safety to you brothers that push the truth and sincerity. With that, I'm going to say shalom.
Did you know that a newly formed alliance could soon control a staggering 80% of the world's oil production? There was no major announcements coming out of the BRICS summit about a gold-backed currency, but an invitation to 6 nations to join the BRICS conglomerate isn't nothing to frown about. There was no shocking news, but cornering the oil market is clearly the first phase of many more to come. This seismic shift in power has been catalyzed by Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and Iran, for starters, joining the BRICS group. But it's not just about oil. Their rapid GDP growth, 36%